Everyone, what's up? This is Dr. Charlie Johnson, physical therapist, orthopedic specialist, and somebody who teaches people like you with back, butt, and sciatica problems all around the world how to fix themselves naturally using the power of their mind and movement as medicine. In this video, I want to share with you a very special, sort of completely off the cuff, as you'll see. Video's a little skippy in some spots, and Bader, a member of my private coaching program, the Glute Relief Accelerator Program, is in the middle of nowhere. All right, he's in the middle of a mall or something like that, chatting through this. But basically, he shares his story of how he went from having a year of sciatica pain to within a week of joining the Glute Relief Accelerator Program, almost being pain-free. Really cool. As you can see, he just loves what he's learning. And you know what's interesting is that Bader reached out to us at one point, set up a time to chat with us months prior to this conversation you're going to see here in a moment, and then canceled his call because he was having a good day. He thought he figured it out, right? And then he realized he was missing a piece of the puzzle, set up another time to chat, and he wishes he had done it sooner because within 1 week he's almost pain-free, right? Really cool stuff. Check it out. If you're trying lots of stuff, you're confused, you're frustrated, you're wondering, hey, there's got to be a better way to do this, and I wonder if I can learn, right? You can learn how to fix this. You absolutely can. With the right tools, knowledge, understanding, and yes, support, you can absolutely become your own best healer. So check it out. Let's dive into this brief interview, and we'll go from there.
I think like so far most of my pain's gone, and I'm super happy. I updated my healing log, and it went from like, I don't know, like 60, 70 to almost 0. So I'm happy about that.
What happened, dude? What happened?
It's amazing. It's probably because of a lot of it had to do with mental barriers and how my body associated like sitting or lying down with pain, right? So I think that like really stuck. And once I started applying the first phase, like really helping my body feel safe, calming muddy waters, that was a big one. Yeah, I tried to like calm down my body, my mind when it comes to sitting, when it comes to lying down, and slowly and gradually, it improved a lot. Like as I just told you, like from 70 to almost 0.
Okay, cool, man. All right, so you had symptoms too for over a year, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, and then how quickly did you start to notice symptoms were resolving?
Within the first week, once I started the lesson calming the muddy waters, it's immediately like it was like a magic spell. Honestly, I was shocked.
Didn't you take a while to reach back out to me? Right, you scheduled and then you wanted to try your own thing and then you came back.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know what happened back then. I wasn't as like I guess committed because I was like, I'm gonna try something else or something, you know. I think it's getting better, you know. But when it came back, I was like, okay, I'm done with this. Let's do this.
Yeah, cool, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, hey, dude, I appreciate that. So, all right, so man, here's what I would say. Okay, at the end of the day, right? If you had a conditioned or a learned response to sitting and sleeping, and you started to realize that, and you had to kind of reprogram your response to it, you're going to do the same thing with any other, sexual activity or anything. Okay, so the question becomes, right? What is making Bader feel unsafe about insert any activity, sitting, sleeping, whatever, right? And you want to the utility behind asking that question, right, is that you start to ask yourself, well, what is the hypervigilance about? What is the fight or flight response about? Why do I feel unsafe doing X, Y, or Z? Am I placing certain pressures on myself? Or, whatever, right? Am I associating this with something negative or whatever? It could be many things, right? But that is the idea. And the way that you overcome it, right, is that you give yourself a graded exposure approach. All right. You can't go full-fledged back into something because you'll freak yourself out. All right. And so the difference is this: you can't have no symptoms. You can't have 10 out of 10 symptoms. So you've got to find an entry point there to where you can experience some of like the yuckiness without setting yourself into a major flare. All right. So this is the balance, because it might take some trial and error for you, right? Where you engage in a certain activity and you're like, well, that was too much, right? It'll calm down. So just know that. You might engage in an activity, right, where you're like, hey, I noticed some sensations or some of the pain experience there, but actually I was okay. And we call that a corrective experience. All right. So if you can continue, and then all that needs to become of that is that you continue to put in the reps over time, right? The more you can put in the reps, and the more you can say, wow, that wasn't that bad. I survived. I'm okay, right? And the more you can do that, whether it be sleeping, sitting, or whatever, right? The more you're going to program your response or your reaction to the pain experience. Okay, so that would be like the number one recommendation. Now, truthfully, like, I don't think you need a specific exercise to get back to anything there. All right, probably at the moment. If you were telling me, hey man, I'm 30% better, then I'd be saying, all right, let's fold in some specific motion, right? But given the fact that maybe you were, I don't know, 90% better, or most of the way there with most things, right? I'd say, hey, that thing which got you 90% should be able to get you to 100%. But now we just need to take the concept and apply it to what maybe you're still struggling with. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I have a question. Do I ask now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure, dude. Totally.
So the pain experience with sitting or like lying down, with what I used to like struggle with the most, is almost zero. How long how long do we stay here before we go into the next yucky activity? All right.
Mm-hmm.
How long do we stay
do
in
it
this
now?
safe zone? What's that?
I would do it now. I'd go into the next yucky activity now.
I'm kind of scared. Because
no way.
It's been a whole year since I've experienced this yummy sensations with sitting. So I'm like, do I want to like immediately jump into the next one, or do I want to rest here a little bit?
Well, look, I think you're fine to go into it. But if you're still at a point where it doesn't feel safe to your nervous system, and you just want to kind of like relish in like the yummy experience, we'll call it, okay, for a little bit longer, I would say this, man. Like, you have the tools already. And so you know you're going to get there. And now the question becomes is in what time, right? You can try to force it, or you can give yourself some grace. And what do I mean by give yourself some grace? Hey, dude, I'm on the right path. I finally understand what I need to do for the most part, right? I've got some good tools and knowledge and understanding. And so if you want to coast for a little bit and just enjoy it for a week, for 2 weeks, you can do it for a month if you want. There's really nobody forcing you to go to the next level. But I would say at some point you are going to have to. So it really just comes down to when do you feel comfortable, right, taking that next step. All right. So like that's your call. Viewing this like as a third party or as somebody external to this, I'd say, hey man, you're probably fine to just work into it. But if you're like, hey dude, I'm still super freaked out, you know your body better than I do, and you're inside your mind and your body, right? Then I would be saying, maybe a hold. Maybe we give it, and here's the thing, don't make this something very high pressure. Maybe we give it another 2 weeks.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Maybe you give it a couple of weeks. Again, we just made that up, so there's no hard, fast rule there, right? Some people, they just smash from one to the next, and they keep like, picture these as like walls or dominoes. Okay, you just like knock one over, you got to get the next one, knock one over. And so now you're just knocking over the dominoes using the same concepts. You're going to get there. I would say, hey, if you feel like right now, like, this is the first time in like a year that I've been able to like lay down or do this or do that. And it's actually really cool. And so like, do I want to like potentially set myself back a little bit if I force into something else, or am I cool just staying here? If you're cool just staying here and you feel like, hey man, I feel safe where I'm at, and I just want to like cuddle up for a while before I go to the next thing, then I'd say totally, man, stay where you're at. I think it makes sense for the next roughly 2 weeks. That's not a hard timeline. So if you get to 2 weeks and you're like, I feel like I don't know, it's Monday and I'm feeling sad today and I don't want to, that's fine. All right. Or if it's, so just give yourself, lower the stakes, man. You've got everything you need. Now it's just, and you've got whatever amount of time you need. So maybe you just expand the time horizon and you get back to it when you feel comfy. Maybe a couple weeks you stay here and then you start to work into those other yucky activities. Yeah.
Sounds like a plan. I'm kind of excited. To go into it. Yeah. I'll do that.
It's kind of cool, isn't it? So, and look, the fact that you're excited by it, you're going to crush it, man. Like most people, like, even though you've got a little bit of fear, there's like this weird anxiousness, kind of fearfulness, right? But like you're overall excited about it. I can tell that what you've learned is kind of cool, right? Even with some of your background, I've watched some of your YouTube, your Instagrams or whatever in the past. So, you know, maybe you can use this for the betterment of maybe some other people this experience, right? Which I think you already have. So, yeah, really cool, man. So dive into it. Maybe not today. When you're ready, lower the stakes, reduce the pressure. Maybe the next couple weeks, slowly start to do it. And here's the thing. Here's a really cool thing. If you have a bad day, if you have a flare-up, it means nothing. In fact, it's actually a really good opportunity, and you should do your best to look at it like that. Oh, this is a really good opportunity. Symptoms are a bit elevated. My normal reaction would be this. Doesn't have to be. I'm going to want to panic. I'm going to want to freak out. I'm going to want to try to stretch the heck out of it or do this or do that. Doesn't have to be. Oh, it's magnetizing. I want to do that so bad. Wow, this is really interesting. Right. And so it's going to take some effort to regroove sort of that reaction and that response, because at this point it's probably a little habitual.
And I just want to say I'm super happy because before starting the program, I was thinking, because I was like so hopeless. I thought I was gonna like see like this kind of progress in like a year or two, you know. But like once I started the program, it's like within 1 week. So I'm just grateful for your program and for your work.
Yeah, no problem, man. Yeah, no problem, dude. Yeah, so you had a year of this stuff. What, sciatica you would call it? I mean, whatever, symptoms, the back of the butt, the leg, all over the place?
Yeah, lower back to like the down to the knee.
Did you try stuff before? Let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah, like I tried to like go physical therapist, look up stretches or exercise. You're like I knew it. But then I started watching your videos. Even in Reddit, we're suggesting some exercises as well, and then that's how I went into down the rabbit hole of like your stuff, your teaching, and all that.
Yeah.
And then I eventually signed up.
Yep. Cool, man. Cool, dude. and what would you say, man, was like most right? So I actually just had someone reach out to me today, and they say, well, hey, there's a lot of online internet scams, and so it's too good to be true, right? And so I've already tried PT, and so what would be different? What would you respond to that person with?
Like even within the first phase, like when I go to YouTube and I try to like solve this sciatica thing, the pain thing, everyone goes into immediately like do this exercise or this is how you move to alleviate or get rid of the pain, but no one addresses the mental or the emotional stuff regarding the pain. And before I got like you already know, like I'm a self-love coach and I teach a lot about emotions and stuff, but even I was skeptical about like how does the mind exactly work with the body. Even I was skeptical about that. So I was like, I just wanted to go all out. I tried everything, and your program was like one of the last options. So I was like, I'm just gonna do it. Like I'm done with the cycle, you know, of trying to go for YouTube exercises and stuff. And literally within the first week, tried the mental stuff, the emotional stuff regarding the physical pain, and immediately went away. Not completely, but by a lot, like 30-40%. So yeah, your program addresses a lot of that stuff, the mental and emotional stuff, and you cannot really tell how that exactly works until you actually experience it, until I actually like try to sit down and apply that stuff, those exercises and tools.
Yep. Cool. And then we try to layer in the movement side of stuff, right, to help you get clarity and be scientific about the inputs movement wise, right, that you're giving to the system or to the body. And then when we actually get into the hunting for motions process, it's like testing, treating, and retesting and showing you just a scientific way, man, so you're not getting lost. And so I try to, with the best of my ability, I went all around the world, man, studying all these things and trying to figure it out and then synthesizing it for you so that we can kind of leave no stone unturned and make sure you have the best of both the mind sort of and the physical structural side of things. So you go through the process and dude, you crushed it, man. It works.
Thanks so much. We did it.
We did, dude. So now look, man, you've got a couple little barriers to overcome. Okay, but I wouldn't even call them barriers. It's just like little hurdles. So you're going to have fun trying to jump over them. You might fall a couple times. It's no big deal. Let me know, man. I'm here to support you and make sure you get like absolutely 100%. I know you're moving that direction and really happy, but I want to make sure you get like 100% and or beyond. Okay, so that is always the goal. You've done great up to this point. You're going to get there, but just like you can shoot me an update inside the community. You can put an update inside of school. You can shoot me a private message. Whatever you need, man, is fine.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Charlie.
Last little thing, right? What would you, if somebody was really skeptical, right, and they tried lots of stuff, what would you say to them?
Like, your program addresses new things when it comes, specifically when it comes to the mental and emotional side of the program, of the pain, which a lot of the videos on YouTube or like articles on Google don't address. All of them address it in a structural, physical way. But the emotional, mental stuff, I didn't even know that it actually were related until I tried the program. Within literally a week, the pain almost, like a lot of it went away, 40, 50%. Yeah. So yeah, your program, like I've never seen anything like it when it comes to like sciatica things. Yeah, so it's amazing.
Cool, dude. And then final thing, man. There are going to be, say since you allow me to use this, I appreciate that, right? There might be people who watch and say, but my pain there's stress doesn't affect my pain. There's nothing mental going on here. I know it's all physical. What are your thoughts there? Because you thought that, right?
Yeah, honestly, if you're going on YouTube and looking up stretches or exercises, and like every day you're thinking about the pain, you are scared. You care about the pain. You're trying to like solve the pain, and this vigilance and this like stress about the pain is the stress that's causing the pain. That's kind of hard to understand, you know?
Yeah.
Because I know you've been explaining that a lot, but when you try the tools in the program, when it comes to helping your body feel safe, helping your mind feel safe, the pain, when your mind feels safe in those positions that were yucky, suddenly the pain alleviates. Like I literally don't know how to explain it. Like I was super shocked when I first tried that. I was like, what? That the sitting pain that I had for a whole year is gone just suddenly like that. And I told my whole family about it. I was like, hey, look at this. Like I don't have this much pain anymore, and they were super happy. But yeah, like I thought this pain wasn't gonna go away, you know, like until I tried to do the exercises for a year or two. But within a week, again, like I'm broken record, but within a week the pain is almost gone. So you have to try
amazing,
this.
dude.
Honestly, if you're watching this video, you have to try this.
Yeah, cool, dude. Cool, I appreciate it. Yeah, man, I think that's a really good point. You said it like brilliantly, I think. A lot of people say, hey, I'm not stressed about this. Like I'm cool as a cucumber. Like just, I know it's this problem. I was told X, Y, and Z. But it's just like the very fact that you somehow stumbled upon this video proves, and it's normal, right, that you're stuck in problem solving mode. You're stuck in this fight or flight response or mode trying to solve this problem. And so that hypervigilance, that catastrophizing, that wondering what the heck could be going on and how to solve it constantly is, right, part of what the pain experience shows up as, right? And so you can absolutely have these tendencies of problem solving, trying to figure it out, trying to fight it, trying to flee from it, trying to do all these different things that can actually fuel the pain experience. And so even if you are watching this video and you're like, I was diagnosed with this very structural thing, this mind stuff is completely woo-woo, we'll talk about the structural stuff. Absolutely. We'll talk about sitting and driving and sleeping and how to manipulate all these things physically, right? But then you can't separate the body from the mind. So if the body is an instrument of the mind, well, then you better figure out how to play the fiddle up here. All right. Because if you can't, then you're constantly going to be seeking solutions only oriented at the body, but you won't actually be able to resolve like the root of things, which might be the fear, the worry, the concern, the anxiety around it. And, it's so much more too than just like meditating the pain away. right? That's like not it's like not the solution. And so hey man, I appreciate you just sharing your story, and I'm just very grateful we crossed paths. I know in the beginning it was like, hey man, I want to work with you, and then it was like, well, I might try my own things, and then you
It got
came
a little
back.
better, but yeah, the pain came back, and I was like, yeah, I'm done with this. Let's do this.
Cool, dude. Cool, man.
But
Awesome, man.
yeah, I just want to add one thing. I didn't think the mind had anything to do with it, or like emotionally or stuff, because I thought when I was sitting and the pain um started, I thought it started because there was something physical. You know,
Yep.
I thought it was that if I sat for longer periods of time, it's gonna get worse.
Yep.
But well, when I applied the safety tools, when I applied the emotional tools, the mental tools, and with the sitting stuff, with the lying down stuff, the the pain turned out to be mental and emotional.
Yep.
It didn't get worse. I thought it was gonna get worse when I sit for longer periods or when I lie down for longer periods, but it didn't get worse. It was all
Yep.
just mental stuff. I didn't know that until I actually applied the tools.
Yeah, man. Really cool stuff, because it takes a lot of people by surprise, because everyone in the world is talking about only these physical problems, which they can happen. About half the people who come into our program have actual physical, structurally driven pain, a disc problem, a piriformis problem, a sciatica problem. Well, you were told you had sciatica. You believe you had sciatica, right? But it wasn't actually true sciatica in the sense of like your nerve was ticked off. It was a physical, or it was a psychological, like, but very physical, almost manifestation of these things. And so you had to address them a little differently. You could have done all the stretches you wanted. It wouldn't have worked, dude.
Yep, I tried that. Like, yeah, I said everything. Honestly, you have got to try it. If you're watching this video, just go for it.
Cool, dude. All right, man. Hey, dude, let me know, Bader. Thanks so much, buddy. You know how to get a hold of me, man. I never take away access to anything. So I'll be your mentor for as long as you need me. And if something pops up, you can jump back in, shoot me a private message, okay?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Charlie.
All right, so hopefully that was useful and inspiring. Again, if you've tried lots of different things, you're like, what the heck? How is it possible, right? That 1 year of pain can be gone in 1 week. We see it happen every single day. I'm not saying for everybody, right? But many times you can resolve these pain problems rather quickly. All right, the goal for us is always to see positive changes with folks who we work with within the first 7 to 10 days. So pretty darn quickly there. All right, so if you're interested in how you can potentially solve this problem, right? And want to learn more about the process that Bader used, and you're like, hey man, I really need some help, just click the link below. Basically, will take you to an apply page. Not sure if I can help you because I don't know who you are on the other side of this video, but first step would be to submit details of what we call your case review. Basically gives us all the details we need to confirm whether or not we can help and set up a brief time to chat, okay? So that's all we got. Thanks so much, everyone. Again, this is Dr. Charlie. Let me know your thoughts below in the comments.